piss y'all off. Like, but I'll say,
Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kakdash, the born to the apostles and those great Muslim for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the elect of Israel. Yahweh is the name of, then finally Shubu Ba'ashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the Begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and I see what's in the title. Gonna be going to this woman, pretty much calling herself a demon. And this is why you have, the brothers, the apostles, that was on down, over the great millstone, given that brotherly advice to stay away from these demons, man, these wicked women. Obviously not saying you can't get, with the woman, but obviously to apply wisdom, especially with how close we are to the end of this place, is just, be wise about it, especially, dealing with demons like this, as you're about to see, which, about to read off this, clip right here, and I'll get into, a couple scripts that came to mind. Shouldn't be, too big of a lesson. Thought it'd be interesting to dive into. And I believe also a clip came out where, she, committed adultery. She got exposed for it. But it says an old clip of Cortez, or however you say that, is resurfacing, where she admits she used to cheat on her boyfriend out of pure revenge, just to make him angry, and says she actually enjoyed doing it. And these women are demonic, wicked, rebellious, and they do a lot of these, things on purpose, as she admits right here. And says, I used to do anything to piss that man off, anything you could think of. It's like I got possessed. Says, I think of it. So you could think of it like I get possessed by a demon. So there you go. And as you know, these women are, the weaker vessels, so they're more susceptible, to these attacks, to these spirits, latching onto them. Is why you have these women, acting out and, going wild, going crazy, especially just being a straight up demon, because they got demons on them, But I'm gonna play this quick video right here, then I'll get into these scriptures, dive into it.
it was bad. Like, it's like, as an evil light skin myself, we will do things on purpose to piss y'all off. Like, but I'll say in the beginning,
and listen, why you're having a lot of men nowadays not wanting to deal with these women. She just called herself an evil light skin. She called herself evil. That should be a red flag, as people love to say. That should be a big red flag waving right in front of you.
I used to do anything to piss that man off. I'm kid you not, bro. Like, anything you can think of. It was bad. Like, it's like I get possessed by a demon, bro. Because it's like,
there you go. Because there's quite, literally spirits behind that. As I was just making that point where, she, it's not she, but, the women is the weaker vessel. So like I said, they're more susceptible to these attacks. They're more prone to emotion. That's why you have these women acting out.
I'm not even myself. I'm not even thinking for when I be doing these things. I'm just like, oh yeah, this.
And this is why you get within the scriptures how Eve is the beginning of sin. And yet these women, want to make it seem like they know something. They want to assert themselves above them. Hey, you're through.
Make him mad. This gonna piss him off. This gonna irk him real good. This gonna get him tight. And
look at she's smiling about this, and I guarantee you the women that is watching her, that came across these, clips, are thinking the same thing.
And that adrenaline rush that I get from knowing that, it just fuels me, and I keep going, and I do it, and then he gets mad at me, and then I get mad that he's mad at me, because it's like I wanted to get him mad, but not that mad, and it's a cycle, and it repeats. It's a cycle, and it repeats.
Hey, straight up demon, man. Let's get into these scriptures. This is a book of Job 39 and 17. And it said, because the Most High deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted her to understanding. So they're simple. Deprived of wisdom. You see how she's boasting about. That's actually another scripture, Barak Yabashim Shai. They were their sin as Sodom. They're boasting in their wickedness. As Isaiah 39, get the King James, I'll see another translation. It says, they show of their countenance, do with witness against him, they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. See, she's boasting about that stuff. She's smiling. You can see she has demons on her, man. And she's got exposed, revealed for, committing adultery. Which, guess what, is a sin to death. As they hide it not, woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. See, the very look on their faces gives them away. They display their sin like the people of Sodom, and do not even try to hide it. They are doomed. They have brought destruction upon themselves. Isaiah 32, 9-11. And it says, rise, be when they are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So these women are going to be faced with a jam, a pickle, deep trouble. And we're speaking of these wicked, rebellious women. Not the few sincere women out here. This is verse 11. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you barren, gird slack out upon your loins. So great trouble, great perils coming their way, and it's really well deserved. I mean, that right there, that video was just a display of the modern day woman. A lot of times they do these things to get a reaction out the man. It's a power play. They want to control you. There's Ecclesiastes 25:19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. What's the portion of a sinner? Judgment, death. As you get within Scripture, the wages of sin is death. For sin is the transgression of the law. What's sin? The breaking of the law. There are consequences to that. Especially dealing with this act of rebelliousness you see within these women today. Proverbs 30:20 says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. You see, the woman's kryptonite is accountability. They'll be faced with a situation caught red-handed, and yet they'll turn their face away from it. Just as you see, kids will be caught in the pantry at night sneaking snacks, crumbs all over their face. The evidence is there, and they are asked, well, what are you doing? Nothing. What you got in your mouth? Nothing. What you got behind you? Nothing. Yet the evidence is there. That's these women for you. Matter of fact, and they'll boast these things. They'll admit to these things and see no wrong. This is Ecclesiastes 25:16. It says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So it's going to show just how through all these wicked women are today. One time I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon. That this is what we'd rather be surrounded by than to keep house with a wicked woman. That should put into perspective. Proverbs 21:9, and I'll get the 19th verse. It says, it's better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a prowling woman in a white house. The 19th verse says, it's better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. So this is, plain and simple. And like I made that point, that's just a display of the modern day, wicked, rebellious, cruel woman. This 1 Peter 3:7 says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. So we're not just saying these things. And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So as I was making that point, these women are the weaker vessels, why they're more susceptible to these, spiritual attacks, these demons, latching onto them. Because also the spiritual Satan, will work through these women in order to get at you, to get a reaction out of you, to make you do something, to throw you off. As we're going to read here, Ephesians 6:12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So this is a spiritual battle, But that's the point. There's, something so much quick that'd be interesting to dive into, because she literally, called herself a demon pretty much. And she said she feels like a demon takes over, or a demon messing with her, and when she's doing things when she shouldn't, or feel like be interacting that type of way. It was just literal spirits behind it, especially just dealing with this spirit he's been walking today in general. It's just complete. It's in complete rebellion. So like it's trying to find my words, but that's right there. Lord, let's edify and close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Shem, Shabbat, Shem, Dash, Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.